The meditation this morning is to not forget God when He gives you what you prayed for. Okay. I was thinking about a time, and I hate to have to bring up situations from my past having to do with my ex, because I don't want to sound like the bitter, ex or whatever. I care about him as a human being. I want nothing bad for him. I am not disrespectful to him in our communications. I am still try to be encouraging and, be just who I am. I'm naturally, that is who I am. I am nurturing, encouraging. I'm also not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. So I am still myself. But I remember a time when we had just had our son. It was after our son. I quit my job because it was so demanding. You had to work every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-hour shifts. There was no weekends off. So after having our son and having 2 little babies, I took off, and he handled the responsibilities for 9 months while I stayed home with the children. During that time, he had gotten a good job that sent him to school for weld inspection. He was already a certified machinist, so he got his certification for weld inspecting and was getting paid well, and just really was caught up in the blessing. And who wouldn't? That's awesome, right? But there was still a lack on things when it came to spiritual maturity and with his relationship with God. So I remember one morning telling him, I said, look, God gave you that opportunity. God gave you that blessing, and you're not putting God first. And just like He gave, He can take it away. So you need to put first things first and put God first, and put your relationship and work on yourself, the things that you should be working on, because there were things that were clearly not right that was being done that were being ignored and failed to address. So I told him that the night before. He basically blows me off yeah, whatever, life is good, and enough of your nagging, woman, right? Because I just want to nag. Well, the very next day, he ends up coming home from work and says, yeah, I got laid off today. So he was very, very aware that God was speaking to him and that God had spoke to him through me, and he brushed it off and ignored it. And so the meditation this morning and last night is a lesson for us all, that when we get those things that we prayed about and we get caught up in the blessings, it can be easy to just brush certain things off when God says, I need you to address this. I need you to address this. I need you to address this. But since everything seems great, we think it's no big deal. And we think we can just continue on. But God will humble us, and God will find a way to get our attention. And whatever it is that seems to be holding our attention in place of God, those things He will strip away from us. And so we're at a time where we've begun a new cycle, and we're going to see many blessings come. Or maybe you have blessings now, and maybe God's been asking you to address some things, to work some things out in your life, and you continue to ignore it or push it off or become too busy to focus on your relationship with God and on your moral integrity. God will strip the distractions away, and things will become very, very uncomfortable until we can get our attention back on the priorities. So this was my morning meditation, and just a word of wisdom for us all, right? These are my life experiences. This is my testimony. This is how I've gained a lot of the wisdom that I have. and this is where I pull from, and this is where I share to help others learn and not make mistakes that I've made or mistakes that I've watched other people make, so that we can avoid the pitfalls and we can be about God's business without hindrance. So that's all. Hope you have a blessed day.